You hear that? That cracking sound? That's not thunder. That's not ice breaking. That's a man realizing way too late that he should have stayed in medical school and not tried to fight God. So grab your coat because we're heading straight into the Arctic, where ships get stuck, hope freezes solid, and one extremely angry, half-dead, fully unstoppable creation is chasing his creator across the end of the world. Yeah, that Frankenstein. Not the green cartoon one, not the It's Alive meme version. This is the story of how a brilliant, arrogant surgeon named Victor Frankenstein went from "I can save lives" to "I accidentally invented death, and now it's ruining everyone I love." And trust me, this is not a monster movie. It's a bad parenting movie. So hop aboard this frozen death ship with me. Ignore the blood on the deck. Don't ask why the dogs look traumatized. And together we're going to relive the entire tragic, painful, beautifully cursed story of Guillermo del Toro's gothic science horror, Frankenstein. And for those of you who didn't have 3 hours and a therapist ready when this movie dropped, don't worry. Here's everything you missed. The ship in the ice. Our story opens in 1857 far north, where the world feels unfinished. A massive ship is trapped inside Arctic ice, frozen like time itself. Captain Anderson orders his men to free it, fast. Too fast. His crew warns him, push harder and people will die. But Anderson is obsessed. The North Pole matters more than safety. Night falls. And then comes the explosion. Something has detonated nearby. Anderson and his men rush toward it, and what they find doesn't make sense. A broken sled, blood everywhere. But the dogs are alive, and then they find a man. Barely breathing, leg destroyed, body broken. His name is Victor Frankenstein. Before questions can be asked, something else arrives. The monster at sea. It looks human, but wrong. Too tall, too large, skin rot, eyes burning with rage. The creature boards the ship like it owns it. Bullets do nothing. Men fall one by one. And through all the chaos, the creature says only one thing. Victor belongs to him. Hand him over. No one does. A heavy cannon finally blasts the creature off the ship, and even then, it doesn't die. It heals. It climbs. Until the ice breaks and swallows it whole. Victor survives. 6 men don't. And when Victor wakes up and hears the number, he whispers something terrifying. He'll come back. Anderson demands answers. So Victor begins his story. A child raised by fear. Victor's father, Leopold Frankenstein, is not a man. He's a force. A brutal surgeon who married for money, not love. A father who taught anatomy with fists instead of kindness. Victor grows up learning that mistakes are punished, not corrected. When Victor's mother dies giving birth to his brother William, something inside him fractures. Victor learns a truth that haunts him. Death wins. And Victor hates losing. So he makes a promise. If death can't be stopped, he will outsmart it. He will become better than God. That obsession becomes his rebirth. And in his visions, a dark angel whispers, "You can rule life and death." Victor listens. Science without a soul. Years pass, not gently, not quietly. They grind Victor down and sharpen him at the same time. The boy who once feared his father becomes a man who fears nothing, not pain, not consequence, not God himself. Victor Frankenstein doesn't just study medicine, he devours it. Anatomy, surgery, electricity, the nervous system. Every forbidden footnote the textbooks whisper about but never explain. And by 1855, Victor does what every great tragedy begins with. He succeeds. In secret, behind locked doors and flickering lamps, Victor commits the ultimate sin. Not murder, but rearrangement. He succeeds. In secret, behind locked doors and flickering lamps, Victor commits the ultimate sin. Not murder, but rearrangement. He stitches together parts of the dead like mismatched sentences in a language no human was meant to speak. Arms that once belonged to soldiers, a torso stolen from the gallows, nerves wired like machinery. Then comes the lightning, the electricity, the violent imitation of creation itself, and something comes back. Not fully alive, not fully dead. It moves, it reacts, It listens, close enough to terrify the world. The medical community explodes in outrage. Priests scream blasphemy. Surgeons call him a butcher. Scholars declare it an insult to God's design. And Victor? Victor stands there, calm and furious, and says the one thing you're never supposed to say out loud: that if their God cannot bring the dead back to life, then maybe their God isn't strong enough. That sentence ends his career. He is stripped of his title, exiled from the Royal College, cast out like a disease they don't want spreading. And that's when fate sends him exactly the wrong ally. Henrik Harlander, an arms dealer with a dying body and limitless money, a man who has watched enough war to know one thing: death always wins. And Henrik refuses to lose quietly. Harlander doesn't see Victor as a criminal, he sees him as a solution. Victor wants victory over death. Harlander wants immortality. So they build a tower, not a lab, a cathedral to ambition, a place where lightning becomes fuel, where electricity is harvested like blood, and where human bodies are no longer sacred, just raw material. Soldiers, prisoners, the forgotten dead, reduced to components. Victor tells himself it's progress, that it's science, that morality can wait. He doesn't notice the line he's crossed, because ego makes excellent blinders. Elizabeth, the heart Victor lacks. Elizabeth enters Victor's life quietly. She's intelligent, curious, kind. She searches for miracles too, but not to dominate them. Victor falls for her. But love doesn't survive arrogance. Elizabeth sees him clearly, and she rejects him. Victor doesn't understand why, because Victor has never learned empathy, only control. The night of creation. During a violent storm, Victor assembles his masterpiece, not one body, many. The strongest parts, the best pieces. Lightning fills the tower. The machine hums. The body lies still. Victor collapses, defeated, until he wakes up. And the corpse is standing, breathing, alive. Victor is ecstatic and terrified, because what stands before him is not a thing. It's a being, born into abandonment. The creature is innocent, childlike, confused. He hurts himself, breaks things, feels pain. Victor sees anger growing in him. Instead of teaching him, Victor chains him, beats him, treats him like an experiment gone wrong. In that moment, Victor becomes his father. Elizabeth, however, sees differently. She speaks to the creature, teaches him words, shows him kindness, and the creature learns his first names: Elizabeth, Victor. One night, Victor attacks the creature in rage. Fear replaces curiosity, and Victor decides to destroy what he made. Fire, loss, A&D escape. Victor sets the tower ablaze. But when the creature calls out to him, Victor hesitates. Too late. The tower explodes. Victor loses his leg. The creature escapes through water, chained, burned, and alone. And now, the story becomes his. The creature learns to live. He survives. Finds clothes. Learns hunger. Observes animals. Observes humans. He hides. He watches. He learns language, emotion, kindness. An old blind man becomes his teacher. The first person to see him, not fear him. For the first time, the creature feels human, until wolves attack, until humans return, until the old man dies in his arms. And the creature learns another truth: love is temporary. Loneliness is permanent, unless something changes. Make ME one like ME. The creature finds Victor, asks for one thing: a companion, someone who understands him. Victor refuses, calls him a monster. And in that moment, the creature understands. His creator will never love him. Violence erupts. Elizabeth is shot. William dies, and with his last breath, William tells Victor the truth. You're the real monster. Forgiveness at the end of the world. The chase leads back to the Arctic, back to the ship. Victor collapses, dying. And finally, he apologizes, calls the creature his son. The creature remembers the old man's lesson: forgiveness. He forgives Victor. Victor dies knowing the truth, and the creature walks away, alive. The meaning of Frankenstein. This movie isn't about monsters, it's about ego without empathy. Victor plays God, but never plays father. The creature is born innocent and becomes human through suffering. And the question lingers, if humanity is defined by compassion, then who was ever the monster? So friends, this was Frankenstein, a gothic science horror masterpiece that doesn't just scare you, it changes you. If you enjoyed this movie recap, hit like, it really helps the channel. If you're new here, subscribe for more powerful movie explanations like this. Until next time, watch carefully, because sometimes the monster is the one holding the mirror.